going on, guys? Welcome back. Yeah, we're here again, same spot, same day, new information though. Aracer 5. Today what I want to talk to you guys about are just the things that the app has to offer. I've gotten into these videos, but we haven't, just like I did the outline in the beginning on how you set it up, I've never really done an outline on, what is in the app. So what we're going to do is we're going to kick it out here and we're going to get into the app. I'm going to show you. So if you bring it up, this is the main page of the app. Down bottom you'll see your specs and whatnot once you start the bike, and as you can see you can scroll down and there's a plethora of them. Up to the top left you'll see these little green markers here that say off, and in here if you hold down on them and touch, you can change what information shows there, and I'll explain the three I have. So the deceleration fuel cut lets you know just if it's on or off. I have mine off so that way it doesn't cut, or I have mine off so it doesn't cut fuel, so it's smoother throttle response, less engine braking. The auto tune enabled lets you know when the wideband auto tune is enabled, self-explanatory. And the wideband auto tune lets you know when it's ready. So pretty much it lets me know the information that means the most to me with this thing, because most of these things as you scroll through, really, I mean, it's not that I could care less about, it's just they don't really pertain to anything live that I would need right away right now. As you can see, throttle position up at the top right, RPMs, voltage, engine temperature, air-fuel ratio. Let's get deeper into the app. So if we go into calibration, these are where you can make your changes. So the first thing, we've already gotten into this in auto tune, is your fuel base. How you can adjust that. If you haven't done so already, go watch my last video. I get into how to set up the auto tune and how to get your bike going in the initial setup. Fuel adjustment. These are where you can go into the individual cells, and as you can see I've made some changes. Essentially what I did is I looked on a Pizzazz form and just found some percentages and changed my percentages according to the maps that they had on there. So far she's been running great. I mean, I can cruise at 70 sitting up on the highway. Yeah, there's a slipstream and everything, but the fact that sitting up I'm just chilling. We did that just the other day, me and my pack. So here's where you make your adjustments and whatnot. Add, take away fuel, yada yada yada. Down here this little wheel spins around and you can smooth out. You can make it more linear, I believe that is. You can divide the amount you're adding, because you'll see that purple 2 is what you're going up by. If you hold down on there, you can change the increments. So you want to just go up by one at a time. And then, so this, I'll explain that it shows the this is whatever information shows out on that little whirly ball thing. So, for lack of better explanation. And essentially I have the same type of information: RPMs, throttle position, air fuel, and it's what shows out here. Just so you can see. Just so you can see what I'm talking about. Fuel acceleration. You can increase or decrease the amount of fuel that's provided to improve throttle response. I haven't touched this. Most people I've talked to and people in the forums, they say don't touch it. I haven't touched it. Maybe one day we'll go out and play with it and see what it does. But I don't know. I haven't messed with it yet. If you have, comment down below so that way we can share the information. We're all learning here. Your spark angle, this is all about ignition timing. I don't have the coil, so I'm not touching it. From what I hear, if you don't have the coil, don't touch it. But this is where you would adjust the timing, giving it more or less timing. You can set your idle RPMs here, self-explanatory. RPM limit, I set mine to 10.3. She seems to love it. Oh, one thing I found out. What shows on the dash is 500 off from what is actually in the app. So if I were to go out and rip right now and cruise at 9,000 here, if I were to look at this, it's going to say 8,500. So it's good for you to know that you're really not doing, the other day when we were in traffic and I think we were doing 70 and I was sitting at about 10 grand, maybe a little less. That means I was really only at 9,000 RPMs, doing stock gearing. I wouldn't lie to you. VVA control, have no idea if that even does anything for this bike. I'm gonna ask in the forums. I really have no idea. If you know, comment down below once again, because yeah, it really doesn't say anything in the instructions. If you bought this, you see how big the instruction book is. Fuel deceleration cut, I explained that before, how I have that off so that way it doesn't cut fuel, so that way I have smoother engine braking. Tune, you already know what that is. Wideband O2, closed loop, you already know what that is, last video. Quick shifter, speed gain, coolant fan, throttle position learn. Throttle position learn is pretty cool. You actually can just reset your throttle position. So if you feel like it's off and you're not getting the full amount, what you do is you come in here. I usually turn it hard forward to make sure it's locked in, hit start learning, and then you just crank it all the way to open throttle. It learns where 100% is, and then you let it go. So I'm not going to do it now because mine's all set up, and I don't want to mess mine up. The speed gain, I haven't messed with it yet. I did have I was down one tooth when I first put it in. I went back to stock gearing so I could know what my speed was and everything in comparison to the actual bike stock. I knew 66. I was banging off the rev limit. 70, not banging off rev limit. And the quick shifter, I believe that's all the setup for quick shifter, and all that. I haven't gotten into that because I don't think I plan on getting a quick shifter for this thing, so I'm really not too worried about it. Let's step back out here. Power meter. Now what this is to my understanding, is like an internal dyno. What you do is you enter your vehicle information in, and you have to enter the total vehicle weight, including the rider, I believe, and then you go to power curve and you set up the settings and you set up the range in which you want to test your power. And I've tried to do it from a start, because my understanding was like when it started, it starts. Like, because I tried it one time from a standstill, and I felt like when I went to accelerate and gave it gas, it would start it at that point, and yet it just didn't come out right. So I would always try to do it as I was cruising. Cruise under 4,000 RPMs and start it, and then when it says go, bang on the gas. Now I've only tried it like twice, and at that point she was coming in around like 7.5 horsepower. Mighty. Yeah, 7 horsepower. Hopefully we have more out of it now. I'm not gonna lie, I can't wait to get good at wheelies so I can take the cage off and see how it really moves, because if I can hit 70 with this additional 40 to 60 pound cage on here, she's moving. Acceleration test, I haven't played with this yet. Essentially, I believe it's the same thing. You can test your rate of acceleration, and here's where it publishes your results. Malfunction code. If you throw any malfunction codes, it'll show here. I don't know what kind of codes this thing would throw, but if it did, that's where they'd be. Log view. Essentially, you can start a log. This is what it would look like. But start a log by going out here and you hit start data logging, and this will start logging. And what it looks like is this. And what you have the ability to do is change. If you hold down on the ghostly box up here, you can change what parameters show out here. Under which one and everything. And this is where if you were to try to, I believe this is where if you were to try to tune on your own, and you wanted to do like dyno runs on a straightaway somewhere, you start a log and you take off, and then you come back and you sift through this chart. And I will say it is not the most friendly when it comes to zooming in and zooming out and moving along, but if you wanted to take your time and figure it out, you could see where you needed fuel and where you didn't need fuel, essentially. Looks crazy, but that's what the log view looks like. As far as I said maps, where if you had a map previous, you could save it. As you can see, I saved the stock before I started doing any changes. Way down below here, we've got tuned, baby tuned, and that's essentially the same map that's below, which is the auto tune over 200 miles. Now we're probably be pushing 1,000 miles easily in auto tune. Summer's coming around, so I'm not taking it off because today we got a cold, rainy day. Tomorrow it's going to be 70, so yeah, she needs to be tuned in all ways. Settings, this is just generic settings, so I'm not even going to get into that. And news is where I guess they publish news information. I haven't seen much on there, but one last thing, you can look at the motor light view, and that's what that looks like there. So this video, like I said, we were just stepping out here to show you everything that the app has to offer, just so you can see the things that we have not gotten into. We will get into them. We're going to have a day where we go and we play around with the power mode, we play around with the acceleration mode, just so you can see it. It may even be tomorrow, with the fact that, you know, it's supposed to be nice, and I'm trying to get back with these videos. But anyway, thanks for sticking around. If you've been here thus far, or just to this point, you know, hit that thumbs up and subscribe. You might as well stay around for the, you know, up and coming videos, so I can bring you some more information. But until next time, let me get out of here, training. I'm gonna go home. Enjoy your Aracer.